Hey there, I'm Kaiser. I also go by Kai, and I'm a student filmmaker. This year, which was my sophomore year of college, was filled with opportunities for me to grow my abilities. I was on multiple college television and film sets, working as their main cinematographer. But that was all taken away from me when COVID-19 affected the whole world. It effectively shut down multiple industries, crippled the economy, and shut down my college for the remainder of the semester. COVID-19 also put in place many limitations to filmmaking, like staying at least 6 feet apart from people, the stay-at-home orders, and limits of only 10 people in one location at a time, even when small film and TV sets host more than 10 on average. This current situation has cost the media creation industry $160 billion globally. So I wanted to answer the question, what's going to happen to media creation, whether it be television or film, because of COVID-19, even with lifted restrictions? Let's begin, shall we? So, media creation, when boiled down to its simplest form, has two factors supporting it, creation and distribution. Let's first start with distribution. We know distribution as the centers where we watch and receive our media, like movie theaters and TV stations, just to name a few. Let's talk about movie theaters for a little bit. Movie theaters aren't doing so hot. We've known this for quite a while. Attendance to movie theaters has gone down ever since the advent of watching films at home, back when the television was first unveiled, to now with streaming. Most people don't care about the quality of visuals or audio, they simply want the convenience. TV became the behemoth that it is today, because when everyone started moving from the cities to the suburbs, no one wanted to go all the way to a big city to watch a movie, when they had the content to watch at home on TV, despite its worse quality and other qualms with the service that included audio issues. As a result, theaters have become more of a social experience, but streaming might soon take that spot, with watching a movie with friends using a streaming service being quite adequate with convenience and lower price. Exhibit A, Trolls World Tour. Trolls World Tour was released during COVID-19's initial wave, where many people stayed at home and theaters were shut down, and made a measly amount of money for a $110 million movie. So, Universal took a daring step to release the film on streaming services as a 48-hour rental. After 2 weeks of being on streaming platforms, it came out on top with $200 million in revenue, and currently almost $350 million in profits, not including toys or merchandise. However, I would take this with a grain of salt. There's a scarce amount of new media coming out during COVID-19, and Trolls World Tour, being a new kids film, definitely enticed many parents and children cooped up at home who wanted to watch something new. And it is the first movie to do something so drastic in these unique circumstances. As a response, AMC Theaters cut ties with Universal, saying that they would never, ever show another Universal production at their theaters again. AMC was trying to set an example to other movie studios because they can't afford to lose studios like Universal when they release movies in the future. When everything is said and done, will movie theaters still be around for a film's release? Movie theaters at this current time are not making any money. Smaller local or art house theaters have so much risk going out of business, and big theaters like AMC do too, with no business. Even opening up theaters may not be enough until society feels comfortable to go to a packed theater to watch a movie, and we don't know how long that'll be. Theaters that are smaller have a higher likelihood of being closed down, and larger chains can close stores to save profits, but small theaters usually only have one, and if it's gone, it's all gone. If you want to support them, there are funds to support them, like Art House Campaign for America. You can find it on GoFundMe. There might not be as much money made with a theatrical release compared to streaming, but the numbers are quite comparable, and massive profits are being made. Another film that has done this is Scoob. It was number 1 when it was released on May 15th with a rental and digital download. And most movies that have a release on solely streaming platforms have been number 1 for the day that they were released and continue to do so for weeks after. Again, massive profits are being made. Many films are ready for release and are just waiting for theaters to reopen. But how much longer will these studios be willing to wait if simply streaming their movie garners a similar result to a theatrical release? Films will never go away like theaters, but theaters may go away or even become a much smaller part of our lives because of adaptation. TV came around, but really TV served a market that films didn't. People who went to the suburbs away from movie theaters and cities found their solace in media with TV, instead of traveling all the way to the city to watch a new film. Theaters won't go away, but similar to what we saw before COVID-19, films will forever stay, while theaters will start to become a smaller and smaller portion of our lives, with society's adaptation to want to watch more films at home rather than at a theater with the rise of streaming, when both activities evoke similar experiences of joy. Before, it was the rise of TV, VHS, DVDs, and now it's streaming. Even with restrictions being lifted, movie theaters are showing films at only 25% capacity for the blockbuster summer season. It will never go back to 100% quickly, and the amount of time to discern if these rules are effective will take a lot of time as well. Some restrictions being lifted in movie theaters, like not wearing masks in the theater, will take a lot of time, even longer than a month, to see if it's safe to have theaters have higher capacities for the big summer blockbuster season, with differing plans for reopening for every state. And some are holding back on their current plans due to rise of corona cases. On the other hand of distribution, TVs are doing incredibly well, with many of them being news channels having constant reports of the daily news that never stops. However, TV channels that rely on narrative work, such as dramas, sports, and sitcoms, are running out of luck. Sports TV channels have turned to reruns of old games or highlights, and maybe even the occasional esport or two. But news TV can run on minimal crew that abides new guidelines and have a limitless pit of content to report on, or even work from home. However, other TV channels like ABC and NBC are facing a problem that they have to solve quickly. How do we make more narrative content with these limitations in place? Let's talk about creation, the other side of distribution. You can't go out and make a CSI episode with everyone being 6 feet apart from each other and having a limit of 10 people on one set. Anyone who has seen the credits to a film or TV episode knows how many hundreds to possibly thousands of people are involved with these productions. Sets, even small ones, go over the limit of 10 individuals, and some do manage to stay under that limit, but not many. There are no new episodes of your favorite show being made because current guidelines to prevent the spread of COVID-19 have halted production. Some TV shows have opted to make episodes that adhere to the guidelines, making stay-at-home episodes. These episodes play out like a typical episode of your favorite show, but with the added twist of it taking place during COVID-19. But it's all done from home, and not in the same location, to minimize crew and adhere to new guidelines. Recently, Hollywood has partially reopened with new restrictions, but no word on which shows have started production again for a few more weeks, and most that will have to feature smaller crews. Most shows that have been revived for a July shooting date are reality TV shows that can operate on little crew and sometimes as little as one person. It isn't just TV that's adapting, however. The movie industry has been creating films with COVID-19 in mind. A new Netflix show, Katla, is being made with some new inventive systems that Hollywood is trying to adapt to. Color coding is one system being used to cut off areas meant for different departments. Every team member is color coded along with their workstation, so you can only stay in the same color coded area as yourself, minimizing contact with others. As a result, many departments can work very far away from each other and even wirelessly. There are also procedures such as constantly scanning cast and crew's temperatures, testing, and constant sanitation. The system isn't flawless, however. 2 individuals got COVID-19 despite using the system. However, risks must be taken, and no one is going to re-enter society with no risks until a vaccine is administered with an unknown release date. It's not perfect, but works extremely well for our current conditions, and is even being adapted by major Hollywood movies such as Jurassic World Part 3. However, this system adds a much heftier price to a production of your favorite TV show or new film you're looking forward to, and most importantly, smaller independent creators. Inevitably, this will hurt smaller creators who can't pay such a huge price to protect their cast and crew. For instance, I thought about the necessary precautions I would need to take. The price of isolating cast and crew into separate hotel rooms, massive medical crews, prices of hourly sanitation, potential medical bills, catering changed from group meals to individually packed meals, gloves, masks, shorter shoot days to minimize spread of germs and viruses, and the result you have with these protocols is that they slow down production. This means you have to pay people for more days, and this makes the price of production much, much higher. The recent example I brought up, Jurassic World, has around $5 million extra that they spent on sanitation. If a sponsor is available, it can possibly be paid, but for most small-time creators, we are our own sponsors. And maybe a sponsor won't invest if they don't see the profit in making a film for our society and economy that is so uncertain right now, with simply walking outside could be a death sentence for contracting COVID-19. There are some willing to take the plunge and invest, like Iceland. Yeah, the country of Iceland is supporting these types of productions. But even with these new mode of production, your favorite TV show or film may not come back the same. Many productions are going to have to change to support the new restrictions in place. One example I have that may be a little bit out there is that of ICTV, Ithaca College's television network. There's an award show every year similar to the Emmys for their network called Just Desserts, and this year, the award for Best Narrative Show was given to Exposed. Exposed is about Jason, a man searching for a new story to make his senior thesis, when he stumbles upon a series of videos exposing several students. Exposed isn't a well-shot show on paper, but once you realize the limitations of that show, you start to get it. Similar to the restrictions of what television and film sets are experiencing now, these restrictions limit creativity. It's an environment at ICTV and in the professional world at this very moment where you have to work with restrictions. For ICTV, that's horrible equipment and no real sets. No matter what the limitations may be, you work with those limitations and make a show that works by embracing what holds you back. Exposed to having overexposed shots and multiple issues with visuals can be excused as it's a take on a parody of news TV. And news TV isn't known for the best picture quality sometimes, and coincidentally, the show works by embracing what holds it back. The writing for the show, and most ICTV shows, are fantastic, but what made this stand out was that it uses restrictions to elevate the show. One thing I hope the world of TV and film does as well. I guess I wanted to end this video by addressing everyone who's a content creator, whether you're a filmmaker or a TV producer or whatever. But trying to make the same thing that we could before COVID-19 just isn't possible anymore until the pandemic itself ends, and that end date is undecided. That simple yet incredibly difficult adaptation of media creation can save us, and save media for all. Us indie creators and professionals are in the age where we can make something amazing with simple tools, and that's amazing. Any service thrives on new content being released, right? So I'm speaking to the creators, why not make some ourselves? I think that we can, and we can also make something amazing. I guess thank you, and thanks for watching.